Hey YouTube, what's happening? I was just home. I'm actually just home chilling right now. And I was just updating a resume, doing some stuff looking for a placement for school in September, updating my resume. And I was also on YouTube listening to some stuff like I usually am. I usually have YouTube playing in the background just as like a filler. I don't like complete silence, so I'll listen to stuff just so messages could like seep into my subconscious and all that good stuff. But anywho, I was on YouTube listening to something, and then I seen like a live, when there's a live video, it'll say live, and it said shooting in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in the States. And apparently, I have the news broadcast going on in the background. Apparently, four people, including the shooter, have died. The shooter killed himself, obviously. I don't know, like, what's the point of going around killing other people and then punking out? Just let the cops shoot you up to get their feels, like, you know what I mean? But I just want to say there has been so many shootings in the States the past, let me adjust this, the past few weeks. Just last week there was another one where 10 people died. They're saying that one was racially motivated. And a few weeks before that there was the one in New York on the train. Now, I know it's just me. It is now a fact that mass shootings are just, I hate to say it, but it's almost like a way of life, a thing that just happens way too regularly in the States, like way too often. And my oldest daughter plays sports. She's very athletic, very active, was very active in high school, got a lot of awards from middle school onward just for playing sports. She decided that she wanted to play basketball. Actually, from she was younger, she liked playing basketball. She used to bounce the ball around, be like, oh, I'm gonna be a basketball player, I'm gonna be a basketball player. And then when she was around 12, I could be getting the ages wrong, but around her early teen years, she started practicing. She taught herself how to play basketball, taught herself how to do that, pass it through your knee and all that good stuff. She joined a team in our old neighborhood, and she got very active with them. They participated in tournaments. I think eventually that team did join a league, and they're doing big things right now. Congratulations to them and the person that created that program. But when she was playing basketball, she would always talk about, oh, I'm going to the States, I'm gonna go to this school. She had hoop dreams, aspirations of playing basketball for a major American college. A few times she went to the States to actually participate in tournaments with the team, which I had no problems with. My only issue is that I am overprotective. I keep my kids on a leash this long, as long as my pinky finger, not even with the nail, you know what I'm saying? And I'm also paranoid. Now, my daughter says that I'm always thinking negatively whenever I have paranoid thoughts. Now, I don't consider that to be true. I just think I am preempting situation that could possibly arise and coming up with solutions that I may need to take in the future. That is all. I gotta work out the problems before they become a problem. That's just how my mind works. So anywho, they went to the States, played games. They were actually a very good team. My daughter was actually a very good player. Let's see if this light makes a difference a little bit. My daughter was actually a very good player, but she started to have hoop dreams, and God blessed her heart, but I had to stifle those dreams. I had to do what I thought I needed to do as a parent to protect my kid from possible craziness like this. Now, I'm pretty sure all these families and individuals that go out daily, the thought has never occurred to them that, hey, some crazy person might walk outside today and decide that, hey, they want to They want to come on the train that I'm on, or they want to come to the hospital I work at, or the mall I'm in, just casually walking around shopping for clothes, and start shooting, and I could be caught up and get shot and lose my life. That thought occurred to me as soon as she started talking about, oh, I want to go to the States to play basketball. So I said, no, you're not going to the States to play any basketball. You are going to stay right here and go to one of the schools, one of the universities that are in the city. We have 3 major universities in our city. We have 3 colleges, so 3 universities and 3 colleges. That's 6 schools that she could go at. And no, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad about telling her she could not go to the States to play basketball. I have always kept my kids very close to me, even when she started traveling to the States. Although she was going with people from the old neighborhood, I wasn't comfortable, because at the end of the day, I'm not there. Anything could happen, and in such a case, how the heck am I don't have any wings, I can't fly. How am I going to reach my kid as fast as I can? Like, it just was not a risk that I was willing to take at the time. Now, she's an adult, and she could definitely make her own decisions. If she wants to travel to pursue career goals, yeah, she could do that, but I definitely still deter her from going to the States. I say I have told her, think long and hard about going over there. You know, I also have a brother that lives in the States. He has 2 sons. And I often think about when they're older. You know, a lot of these shootings are racially motivated, and I think about when they get older, them being racially profiled, them being, you know, accosted because they're black. It's very scary and very hard to think about that this type of stuff is like a reality for black people, you know. I'm not sure the race of the individuals that got killed today in Tulsa, but to just think that people just get up every day and want to kill you for any reason. They just get up and decide that they want to kill because you are from a certain group in society, or they just walk into your workplace be like, hey, I got a gun, I just feel like shooting, and that's what I'm gonna do. I just think that it's so unfair, it's so selfish. And you know, having or being from a social service work background, or having a social service work background, with all that's been happening lately just in the world, you know, possible recession, people losing all their jobs, losing their places, like people, there's a lot of people suffering out there, and that definitely takes a toll on one's mental strength. You know, mental illness is a very serious, my daughter told me, she's at a restaurant out eating, the youngest one told me that she's eating dessert. This kid has never, I shouldn't say never, she probably brought me food one time, but every week she out eating and she never buys me anything. They both say I need to stop eating. But anywho, mental illness is a very dangerous situation. You know, whenever individuals start having suicide ideation, it should be taken very, very seriously. No matter how small it is, you need to start asking them questions. Now, I've taken courses related to just understanding suicide. My last course actually touched on it a lot. Just being in crisis management, how to handle those type of situations dealing with death and suicide. And they say that, you know, if someone has suicide ideation and you ask them who can stop you and they say no one, that person is at risk for completing suicide, or if they have homicidal ideation, they're at risk for going out there and killing people. So there are so many people suffering, and suffering in silence too, you know. I, for one, not being someone that always like to talk when I'm going through things, I tend to keep things to myself. Now I talk to myself out loud, or I'll journal, which journaling is a very good release of thoughts and feelings when you feel you don't necessarily want to share those things with other people, or if you don't have other people to talk to, you know. um yeah, it's very scary when people are suffering in silence. They don't know where to get help, or they're ashamed to get help, you know. In my community, the Black community, you know, seeking counseling and getting help, it's not frowned upon. I think people are more embarrassed to ask for help because they feel like they're admitting that they have a problem. But how can you improve, grow, or solve a problem if you don't admit that you have one, right? Denying and denial doesn't get anybody anywhere. It's not the beginning of progress, right? In order to make changes, you have to admit that there is something not ideal that is happening. Now, in terms of guns, I think I read something maybe yesterday that said at one of the individuals that passed on from the mass shooting that involved the 10 people, VP Kamala was saying that she wanted a ban on whatever type of gun. I don't know what it is about Americans and their love for guns, but I personally, I don't like guns. They scare me. And you know, gun lovers and gun owners will say you shouldn't be scared of a gun. Now, I've considered going to a shooting range, but my ass is too scared, so I don't even bother. I threw that idea out into the trash. Maybe I'll do it one day, you know, when I braven up a little bit more. But I know over here in Canada, I believe they have banned automatic weapons, some type of automatic gun they have banned. And I saw something else in the news that they're gonna be implementing another gun related change. I'm not sure, a gun buyback program or something like that. Also, you know, last week, after news of the shooting of the 10 people in the States, I was watching the news, and apparently somebody was around a school in my city. I'm not sure if they had a weapon or not. I didn't research it, but they shot and killed his ass. You know, I guess they weren't playing any games, which absolutely, you know, if he had a weapon and they feel he was a threat, do what you got to do, you know, save the kids. But definitely not taking any chances. Now, mass shootings isn't something that happens often in Canada. Like, people get shot as individuals, but not in large groups. Now, our terroristic threats, people are running over people with cars. Yeah, I've heard of quite a few stories where people are just driving over people with cars. It's happened several times. I know in the West, I think, like the Western provinces, like British Columbia, Alberta, Calgary, those places, a lot of RCMP officers, which is like our country police, I guess you could call them the equivalent of the FBI, like they get involved in a lot of shootings and shootouts with suspects, and they tend to lose their lives due to gun violence. But we don't have anything on the scale of mass shootings in Canada, thank God. But it's very sad. Like every month, like something's happening where people are just losing their lives senselessly. And in horrific ways because of, sorry, I'm just watching the broadcast, because of people who are probably have some sort of mental illness, who are not receiving treatment, who don't care to get treatment. It's very scary. And you know what is also sad, like these situations happen so often enough, I feel like everyone's getting desensitized to it. It's when it happens, it's sensationalized, but a few weeks later we're still talking about it, but the news dies down until another one happens, and then sensationalize another shooting, another terroristic shooting again. But I don't regret. I don't regret telling my daughter that she couldn't go to school in the States. There are plenty of schools where we live for her to go. And I just, if something were to ever happen to one of my kids, I need to be there, the snap of a finger. Like, if I had to take an Uber and it was taking too long, I would jump out my house and start running. Like, no word of a joke. Like, I love my kids so much. Like, I can't imagine my life without them. So it's like seeing other people lose their children and loved ones. It's heartbreaking. Very sad.